Back in the kitchen, Kitus cooks. Well, today we're not really cooking. We kind of are. We're blending. We're making some guacamole. We're actually taking real, beautiful, nice tasting avocados, and we're gonna make guacamole. A very, very simple dish, so don't ever try and overdo it. I find that people, when they make guacamole, think they've got to put more and more stuff in it. Don't fill it with sour cream. Don't fill it with, pickled jalapeno. All those things that you don't need to put in there. Do very basic. Let those avocados shine. They're so tasty. And if you want, don't even make guacamole. Just make some. Open up a nice soft avocado like that and dip in there with your chip. But we're gonna make avocado guacamole. Anyways, okay, so let's get started. So first thing with avocado, you want to make sure it's soft to the touch, where if you push it, it kind of indents a little bit. Oh, it's perfect for, you can't really see that, but it will indent a bit. If it's really pretty hard like wood, those ones are not so easy to work with. And if they're way too soft, they're not going to be good to work with. So you got to find the perfect one. That's why you see all the people standing around the avocados in the grocery store pushing them all. Well, that's what I do too. So I got some really good ones today. They're all ready to go. So what we're going to do, you see this avocado has been cut in half. You're not going to cut it this way. You're going to cut it this way. So lengthwise, all the way around. We'll do about, how many I got here? Like five avocados. Be careful your fingers. Can't have anybody cut in themselves. I guess we can, but it's not something I'm hoping to do. All right, there we go. My sister Teresa, when we were younger, would actually save the avocado pit if we didn't cut into it, and she would try and grow avocado trees. And I think she well, there we go. The show's over. All right, so I'm gonna have to send one of my highly skilled technicians. There we go. Look at that. That's how fast they work here. All right, so don't throw your spoons on the floor. Very simple procedure. Just get that spoon in there, and you can pretty much get all of that avocado pulp out. It just comes out very easily. See that? So good. And avocados like this are so tasty to eat. So anyways, if you, there was a book going around back in the day about how to grow avocados, and so that was in the 70s though. And I don't know if that book's still around, but I'm sure you could find it on the internet. Because you can find just about anything, weird or not weird, on the internet. Right, everybody?
Right.
Seems that my students find all the weird things. I find the wrestling. I don't know what happened. I watched one thing about wrestling, Ric Flair, woo! And next thing you know, all I get are wrestling videos popping up on my computer. It's magic. It's magical also. All right, see, so I had to talk about something. I got all that pulp out, and the very last one's coming out. It will get all over your fingers. You're going to want to wipe those fingers off. I'm going to put all of this into my wonderful compost in my garden, which has really been perfect this year. My compost is the best compost I've ever made, and I've got a lot of it. I might be starting a factory. All right, so what we have now are these need to be kind of squashed up. And so you can use a whisk. I always use a whisk, but if you want, you could use like a potato masher, or you can just use a fork. Any one of those things will do. So the thing with avocados and making guacamole, make it fresh. Don't make it ahead of time. Don't make it the day before, especially. Everybody has like a technique because what happens, the word oxidize, what happens, it's written up there on the wall. Once the oxygen hits the avocados, they start turning brown, just like a banana. So if you, we're gonna put lemon or lime juice in it, but if you don't do that, then overnight it will turn brown on the top, and it just is not as good the next day. So make it the day of. Okay, so the simple things we're going to put in. We're going to put some jalapeno in here. And so what I'm doing, I'm going to take out the seeds. And there we go. We're almost there. Whoa, almost got myself. We're going to do one whole jalapeno. And then the way we will do this now is we'll slice it long ways, really nice and thin. And then the next thing we'll do is we're going to dice it. So does everybody remember how we do that? I'm sure you do. So what we do is we grab that and just turn it. Don't pick that up and turn it. Just turn it. Leave it on the cutting board and make that movement. As soon as you start picking it up, things get out of place and you just slow yourself down. This is a food service industry. You got to work fast and efficiently. Correct? Yes, chef. I love to hear that. And there it goes. So one jalapeno. We had like 6 avocados. We're going to do some red onion. So onions, not everybody puts onions in it, but I think it's important to. You can use red or you can use a yellow onion. I'm using red today, obviously. We'll only do half of this. All right, and that's because we don't want to overdo it, right? You put too many onions in, it just gets too oniony. And what you don't want to do is hide the flavor of the avocado. All right, and that seems to be, I know with a lot of caterers, they're doing a party and they want to stretch the avocado because avocados can be expensive. Well, they'll add a lot of different things in there that you don't need to put in. All right, so avocado, jalapeno, in goes my red onion. Here we go. So now we're going to put some cilantro. And remember what I always say, do not pull the cilantro off the stem. You'll lose so much flavor. That stem of the cilantro is so tasty. Watch. So good. And you'll dice it up, but you can pull off these like little yellow ones that don't quite fit in there. Well, you're just going to lightly dice it or chop it. You don't need to chop it really fine. What happens if you chop cilantro too much, it gets a little bruised and kind of watery. We don't want that. We want fresh looking cilantro. There we go. So that's about one bunch. That would be like a half cup, we'll say. There we go. Last thing I'll put, pretty close to the last thing, I have some tomatoes, some nice looking Roma tomatoes. So make sure your knife is sharp. And in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my we call it a honer, and you just run your knife over this at like a 10-degree angle like that, and it's really going to get your blade back in the right position for cutting these. All right, I can touch it. Oh yeah, that's perfect. So that's going to go. See how easily it goes through, and we're just going to dice these up now. Just cut it that way. If your knife's not really sharp and you don't have that steel, what you can do is you can flip it over like that. When you're not cutting the skin portion of the tomato, it's a little easier for your knife, just like that. But this knife seems to be sharp enough, so we'll see if we can cut through that skin really nicely. Not bad, chef. Good job. Okay, see how I just turn it? I don't pick it up. Turn that piece of vegetable around or fruit. You know, actually tomatoes are a fruit, aren't they? All right, back of my knife always. You don't slide the blade, back of your knife. Okay, we're looking good. I have a little bit of lime juice. If you have fresh lime, you can squeeze lime juice and maybe put a little bit of a zest of the lime in there. We're gonna grab my spatula, my rubber spatula, and stir that up. So the last thing we're going to do now is season it. So I haven't put any salt, I haven't put any pepper, any other thing. Sometimes they put cumin in it. I don't like to put cumin in it. I just like it au naturel, as we say in France when we're making guacamole in France. Okay, so we got everything there. I'll grab my salt and my pepper. A little bit, a quarter teaspoon of pepper, and let's do about a teaspoon and about a half of salt. Be careful not to over salt, not to over pepper, because you can't take it out. I like that. Good answer. Okay, about ready to go. I'm going to do one more thing to it. You don't have to do this one portion, the last thing I'm going to do. But if you like, a little more spicy. Oh, hello, Allison. We're gonna squirt in a little bit of our Tabasco sauce. And that just gives that wonderful oak cascady flavor of your Tabasco. And it finishes your guacamole. And you're gonna, oh, that's so pretty too, look at that. See, so that's the color. The red onion gives it some nice color. The tomato also gives it a little different color. And then the darker green of the cilantro really gives a nice little pop to it. That's really tasty. It's almost like I was born to make guacamole. That's so delicious. So we're ready to serve it. So what we do, we'll grab a plate. We grab some of, what did I do with those? I had them all ready to go. I had some smaller, I'll run over and grab me. Oh, there they are, right there in front of me. I fooled myself. So we have some small ramekins. So if you don't know the name of them, just call them thingamajigs, right? So in the restaurant, what you're gonna do, you're gonna put them in a smaller container like this. And then you always charge for the guacamole. You can give the salsa away. You know, salsa is not as expensive as making guacamole. So, and then if people say, "Oh, can I get some more guacamole and salsa?" You say, "Well, you got to pay for the guacamole, señorita." And then we've got some chips here. So the chips I just made, I fried them. So we're going to toss a little salt on those, just to get them some good seasoning. And one other thing we'll put on there. I'm going to squirt a little bit, tiny bit. You're not really squirting, you're just kind of giving a little rain shower of some lime juice on there. And then remember, this is food that's ready to eat, so you can't be using your fingers. You have to use either tongs or you can wear gloves to do this. You don't want to serve food that you've touched to people that they're going to eat if it's not going to be cooked again. The health department will kill you. Okay, there we go. So we got that. A nice looking platter, and you charge, I don't know, what, $10 for that? And there you go. You're making some guacamole, some green guacamole. And I'm talking not about the sauce, but I'm talking about money. All right? So there you go. You're ready to eat, and it's delicious. So make sure, instead of buying these, you make them. You get in the kitchen, you sharpen your knife, you try new things. I've got a friend, my friend Sherry, who's a seamstress. She's got the best channel on Instagram, and she has started recovering car seats, and I can't not watch it. It is so cool. So she just took the way car seats are made and she's reimagined it, and it's really fun to watch her sew and cut things out. So be imaginative, create new ways to do things, and above all, have fun cooking, because that's what I love to do. I love to cook so much. I think I'm going to just keep doing it the rest of my life. All right? Bon appetit. Adios.